Welcome to another episode of Two Old Geeks Talking. Now on the World Wide Web.
Hey, welcome back to Two Old Geeks Talking. I'm Rob.
I'm Trace.
And today we're discussing the Iron Giant.
The Iron Giant. I drew a blank there for a second. So I just recently watched the Iron Giant for the first time.
For the first...
Yeah,
See, I really love introducing him to new things. I don't know why. It just tickles the hell out of me.
Do you know why I watched it for the first time?
Because I let you borrow it?
Yeah, because you said, hey, we're going to talk about the Iron Giant. And I was like, I really don't know anything about the Iron Giant. No, it was one of those things that slipped past. So tell me about the Iron Giant, brother.
Well, tell me what you thought about it. But I can tell you, I'm going to sit here and tell you all about it. But you tell me, as the first-time viewer,
okay, what
you thought about it.
So, at my age, watching the Iron Giant, first of all, I liked it.
Okay.
I thought it was a good movie. It harkened back. Of course, it was made. When was it made?
1999.
1999. So, I mean, gosh, it's 25 years ago.
Right.
So, I mean, harken back to the animated programs we watched when we were younger, when we were kids. And it was a good, wholesome story. And it had a good moral. Had a good moral. I enjoyed the animation. You know, some people talked about how the military equipment that was animated in there, people that were actually in the military during that time talked about what an outstanding job they did on getting every little nut and every little contour.
Right, but what did you think about it?
On a scale from 1 to 10, I give it a 7. I'm glad I watched it. I have no intentions of watching it again. Now, having said that, I watched it at my age. If I had watched it when I was 10 or 12, then, you know, it would probably take on some nostalgia for me.
Right.
You know, and it would probably pull at my heartstrings more at that age than it did now, because I'm old and wrinkled and hard.
We weren't that old 20-some years ago. I mean,
no,
we weren't kids at 20-some years.
I'm talking like if it came out when I was 12. You know? But yeah, I gave it a 7. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It would be something that I would recommend, you know, any of my grandkids to watch, and I could see them watching it and really, really liking it. And
right.
So, but what do you give it on a scale from 1 to 10?
Me personally, I'm gonna give it. I want to give it a 9.5.
Wow.
Almost a 10. That's how much I enjoyed it.
Wow. Did you enjoy it because you enjoyed it that much, or sometimes when you really like a movie, it's because it takes you back to a certain time in your life. There's nostalgia there.
Right.
Perhaps of who you saw it with, or maybe that was just a fond childhood memory, something you share with friends. So is it that you like the movie that much?
Well, okay, go ahead.
Or is it that there's some nostalgia attached to it, like maybe it was you and one of your daughter's favorite movies or something like that?
There is no nostalgia attached to it.
Okay, all right.
I enjoyed the movie that much. 25 years ago, I was probably 29. So I was like,
where'd you see it at? First time?
Probably on television.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't in the movie theaters by any means. I just really enjoyed that movie, and I've watched it at least every year since it's been out.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, I won't. You say that big a fan? I guess you should say that big fan.
Yeah, I would say that's a big
it.
fan. Yeah.
I mean, because this is the first release of it on DVD, and I let you borrow that to watch. Now, when you buy it, there is an added scene that isn't on the one I let you borrow.
Is it? Do you think the new scene adds to the movie, or does it take away from it?
Both.
That's weird.
So, well, okay. So anyone who's familiar with the Iron Giant, the scene I'm talking about is the dream. There was a dream scene where the giant is asleep in the junkyard, and what he dreams is sent to Dean's television, so you can see what he's dreaming. And what he's dreaming is of an army of his type of robots, destructions of the death of that deer, destructions of planets, and it's kind of cool to see a backstory of the Iron Giant.
Yeah, because you didn't really know where he came from.
Right, you never know, and but then again, I kind of like not knowing. You remember how we used to say Wolverine was more interesting before they tried to give him a backstory?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I think Iron Giant didn't need that.
I think it's the way we are as people. I mean, I think a lot of women like men when they're men of mystery.
Right.
And then when they date them for long enough or they marry him, they're like, and all the mystery's gone, they're like, I can't stand this guy.
Yeah, right. What did I ever see in him? It's kind of like it's not what you see that lures you, it's what you can't see that lures you.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I like the fact that there was no need to tell where the robot came from.
Right.
I like the movie just as much.
So the movie was loosely, and I say loosely, based after Ted Hughes' book, The Iron Man.
Yeah.
And so the book takes place in England. I think it was written in 1967.
Yeah.
Dude. So they changed the title when they redone it for America to Iron Giant because they didn't want it to be confused with Iron Man from the Marvel
It was written in
Comics.
68.
68. How about this?
So
it was written in 67 and released in 68.
That could have been.
And my copy was printed in, I think, in 70 something.
Yeah. So they didn't want to confuse it with the Iron Man from Marvel Comics,
Right.
which makes sense.
So the reason for the writing of this book, now see, this is another reason why it's made it up to 9.5 in my, when I was a kid, I liked it. But as I've got older and I've heard where it came from and how it got to where it was at. So Ted wrote this book because him and his wife had got divorced. And because of the divorce, she already was packing depression anyway. She had committed suicide. Now, her name was, why is it leaving my head? Sylvia Plath. Have you ever heard of Sylvia Plath?
No.
Okay, so she's a real popular novelist, poet, wrote poetry, very intelligent woman, but she battled depression most of her life. And when they went through the divorce, she couldn't handle it and she committed suicide. So
What a waste.
right, it was. She was a very talented and intelligent woman. But, so he wrote these stories for his children to keep them strong because it was about an Iron Man. And the story starts out with how he fell apart. As strong and as big as he fell apart. And how he pulled himself together and how we have to pull ourselves together to keep going.
Yeah.
And it's several different short stories put together to make this, I think it's a 57-page book.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
pulp.
it's like a 59
small.
59 piece book.
But sometimes small books are great
Right.
books.
But it talks, this has space dragons and all kinds of things in it, and it very, very little of it has to do with what you see in the movies. Now, the reason I like the movie, once I looked into the history of that, is because the producer, Brad Bird, now you all might be familiar with Brad Bird. He got his start doing like stories for The Simpsons, and he also wrote for Stephen King's Amazing Stories. That's how he got started. Now he's popular for doing The Incredibles, Mission Impossible, and writing for things like that. But this was his first movie he done. And the reason the way he pitched this movie to WB was his sister had got killed at the age of 36 in gun violence. It was a domestic dispute between her and her husband, and she lost her life. And so this was 10 years before the
There's
movie.
a lot of real world crap surrounding this movie.
Right. And so he questioned, the question is if a gun knew that it could kill, would it kill? If something that was made for destruction had a soul, could it choose not to do what it was made to do? And so that was the premise that he tossed to Warner Brothers.
And that's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and that's basically,
Now, obviously, they liked it.
right, they liked it. They liked it. But they pushed him off. Okay. So I think one reason you don't know about it, and a lot of other people don't know about it.
Well, I don't know about it, but being a geek, I hear about the Iron Giant, and when I go to Comic Con to see Iron Giant memorabilia and
Right.
stuff like
So
that.
it's-
So
as far
it's
as you
always
knew, it
been
was just outside
like
your
if I'd
wheelhouse.
seen that before I saw the movie, if I'd seen that sitting at a Comic Con, I'd been like, oh look, there's a figure of the Iron Giant. Not knowing anything about the Iron Giant, just because he does have a place in culture.
Right, in pop culture.
Yeah.
So, so Warner Brothers had started their animation studios, and it sounds weird because Warner Brothers had been doing cartoons for years, but they hadn't done theatrical. They've left that up to Disney, and they decided we're going to stand toe to toe with Disney, and this is what we're going to do. Right out of the gate in 1988, one of their very first movies they decided to do was Quest for Camelot. Have you ever heard of that one?
Is it animated?
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
And that's because it flopped.
Okay.
But Warner Brothers really pushed this movie. They really pushed and advertised for that movie. They did trailers for it. They had merchandise and toys. They did kids' meal toys. They really pushed it, and the movie flopped. I mean, it even had its own soundtrack. And some of the music on it's pretty good. I think there's a song done by Celine Dion on there. It's really good. But the movie in general sucked. So they were real hesitant to throw any more money into animation.
That's understandable.
So Brad really wanted to do this movie, and they said, well, okay, instead of the 5 years you got to make the movie, you got 2. Instead of this amount of money to make it, you've got a third of that. Get her done.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's, but you know,
But he still got it done.
he got it done, but he took a lot of the animators from Quest from Camelot. What's cool was this was his first theatrical movie. The producer, it was their first production job. A lot of the animators, he went and got them from colleges. They had never even worked on a movie, let alone completed, drawn out, complete scenes for movies.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people working together, and I think there was like 157 of them, were just starting out for the first time.
They did good.
I think they did super good for what little they had and what little time they had. So they put out one movie poster for this movie, and it was a trailer. It was supposed to be a teaser poster.
Yeah.
Because back then they didn't have a lot of trailers, but they did a movie poster. And that was the only poster they ever made for this whole movie. That was the only advertisement for this whole movie. They had some TV spots after they started playing it on TV. But other than that, and
Was it a financial success? I mean, I know it's probably made money for him since.
since
Just
it's
like
become
the original Blade Runner was considered a flop, but it's made tons of money since then.
well, it's become almost like a cult classic.
Right. And same thing with this for a lot of people.
They only made worldwide, globally, 31 million dollars.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a lot of money, but they sunk in, I want to say, close to like, if you look it up, some places will say 70 million. Some places say it's 48. It's kind of hard to
But either
determine.
way, anyway,
They didn't make their money back.
yeah, that sucks.
But I don't blame.
That's why you don't see Iron Giant 2.
Right. Well, so the thing is for the effort that was put into it, as good as the movie is, it was Warner Brothers that kind of screwed the pooch, and
Because they didn't put any money into advertising.
right.
And anymore, they may put $20 million in advertising the movie.
Right.
When you see what a movie costs, oftentimes they don't add that cost in there, the cost for advertising. But yeah, they spend a ton on advertising now.
And what's crazy is even when they did put out this trailer or this movie poster,
Yeah.
they was like, okay, we're going to go ahead and release the movie 4 months afterwards. They just like, okay, well, we're just going to go ahead and toss it out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because when they film, what is it called when they play it for like a group of people to test it?
Yeah. Test audience. Yeah.
Dude, it was the highest test score ever known.
Yeah.
And it was through the roof. And then they were like, okay, well, let's get it out and let's make some money. I mean, they backed out on a deal with Burger King to do kids' meal toys. They just backed out of everything as far as that advertisement and merchandising. But anywho,
So what always gets me is like they say they have the voice talents of Jennifer Aniston and Harry Connick Jr. and Vin Diesel. He did the robot.
right, he did the job.
First of all, I don't understand why you have the need to have like to get Jennifer Aniston or Harry Connick Jr. or Vin Diesel to voice your characters in your movie. There are some really good voice actors out there.
Right.
That work for a fraction of what these people do. And these people aren't voice actors.
But I'm not familiar. Oh, I'm familiar with Friends, but I don't know what part of popularity Jennifer Anderson was back in '99.
I mean, pretty much Friends, and of course she's gone into movies since then. But the thing is, what I'm saying is that you could have gotten another voice actress for probably 1/10 of what you got Jennifer Aniston for.
True.
And I mean, for people that enjoy animated movies, somebody's not going to say, you know what, I wasn't going to go see Iron Giant, but Jennifer Aniston is doing the voice of one of the characters, so now I have to. And Vin Diesel, I mean, the man can barely talk in real life. I mean, whenever he does, I mean, he was like, blah, blah, blah,
I think he only had like 51
I
words
am Groot
in this whole movie.
And I mean, so I could do that, and I'll do it for $1.50.
Well, I tell you what though, this is Van Diesel. Van Diesel doing the voice of Iron Robot or Iron Giant, and Groot is his most popular Rose. The Rose that he doesn't have.
Anybody could have done that. You could have done Groot, and you could have done Iron Giant, and nobody likes Groot better because of Vin Diesel, and nobody likes Iron Giant better because of Vin Diesel. All they did was just waste money. It's waste money. I mean, nobody cares who does the voices on an animated series. It doesn't matter if it's like the most popular actor in the world, the most popular actress in the world. Nobody cares if you're doing a voiceover on a character.
Well, I mean, like,
let's say The Rock, he's doing the voice on.
Well, okay, so the boy, the boy who did the voice of Hogarth, his name was Elon Marathon.
Yeah, they should have got Brad Pitt.
But that's the thing, he was nobody, and he did just as good.
Because
absolutely. he did most of the voice acting.
Yeah.
Harry Connick Jr., they said they got him because they wanted somebody kind of hip and cool.
He's not the only hip and cool guy out there.
Yeah, they should got you.
Yeah, get no-name people. Get no-name people. Nobody cares if stars do the voices of animated characters.
Okay.
Okay, I digress. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I think voice actors are better at their job than regular actors.
Absolutely. That's what they specialize in.
But actors...
Lots of times they can do different voices. You might get one voice actor, he can do like 3 different characters because that's how good he is.
Right.
Where Vin Diesel, he's always the bald guy.
So, anywho, what did you think about the music? I like the music because Warner Brothers was wanting to try to imitate Disney and have like music. Some rock star did like a musical about Iron Giant, and they wanted to use that music, and Bird said no. I want a particular style. I don't need some big musical sing along. And I know you're not a fan of.
I love
sing along
soundtrack
songs
music, and a lot of my CDs. Yes, I still have CDs. A lot of my CDs are soundtracks. I love Vangelis's from Blade Runner. Love John Williams from Star Wars.
Right.
Howard Shore from Lord of the Rings. Now this music, I'm sure I heard it because I watched the show, but there was never a time where I It was just background music, and that's fine. That's fine.
Well, that's the
Soundtracks are so important because they pull up your emotions. They
Right.
can make you feel anxious. They can make you feel sorrow.
Well-
They can denote when action is going to happen. But like for this, the soundtrack didn't stand out at all.
Well, see, it did to me.
Okay. Well,
So let's see. Michael Kamen, if I'm saying his name right,
Yeah.
he was the composer. He's passed away since then. God rest your soul. I think he did an excellent job, and because
he probably did, but I
well,
just didn't pay
because
attention to it.
if you listen to the music, let's say when the Iron Giant's flying into space.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Can
when
you
he's-
sing it? Can you sing the
No,
song when it
because
goes
it's
into
music.
space?
It's not words.
Oh, okay.
It's but you can hear the build up. You can hear the mood, and it I enjoyed it. I thought it was
cool.
definitely
That's cool. And then the guy may have done a great job, but like some soundtracks I hear, like say the guy I can't think of his name that did the Game of Thrones music, I don't know, some Indian name or something. But anyway, he's real. I mean, I hear that, I'm like, wow. And I mean, like the other day I was cooking in the kitchen, and I told Google to put on some Game of Thrones soundtrack music, and I was jamming to that while I was frying some chicken. So yeah, I mean,
Did it make you fry the chicken better?
yeah, it made it, yeah. I actually did. Yeah, it did. But yeah, this guy, he might have been good, but yeah, it just didn't click with me.
Okay.
If you told me there was no music in there, I'd been like, really? And I would have never even known the difference. But go ahead.
Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to see where I left off. So.
Did you cry when you saw it? the
Oh,
first time?
I thought it pulled some heartstrings. I
Yeah, but
won't.
did
I
a
won't
tear
lie.
did actually come out and roll down your cheek?
No.
Or did you just get your eyes watery?
No, it was just. It was just.
Yeah,
moving.
and then it did pull on my heartstrings a little bit. And
Right.
it probably would have had more if I was younger.
So what I thought was interesting was after they came up with the screenplay, which was sent to the writer of the book,
Yeah.
Ted sent back a letter. Did you find the hidden things in the menu?
Oh no, I didn't watch any of the extras.
Oh, no, it's not in the extras. So instead of scrolling down, if you scroll side to side, you can hit some of the, I think one of them's like the teacher's glasses or something else, and it'll show you hidden things. And one of them was like the letter sent from Ted Hughes to Bird, congratulating him on such a good story.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
to get a letter from the original author, giving you a thumbs up, it's pretty damn good. I thought.
Yes, because a lot of people now, whenever they get control of an IP, they totally ignore the original author and what has come before, and they just try to take that IP and go in their own way. So the fact that the original author gives you the thumbs up,
Right.
that's great.
That it was great.
That's great.
And I'm surprised because it's so far off from the book. So, the Iron Giant was the first completely CG character. Like, he was CG through the whole thing. Everything else was 2D.
I thought he was 2D.
No. And that's the great thing about it is because Bird's team literally came up with a program. Now, we're talking about such a small budget, small amount of time. They came up with a program that literally caused the lines to kind of wobble to look like they were hand drawn.
Yeah.
To make it look like it was 2D.
I got a question.
Okay.
So, why would you make something 3D and then
They didn't make it
go to
3D.
all the
They
trouble
didn't
to
make
make
it-
it look like it's 2D?
it was
Why not
CG.
just make it 2D?
It wasn't.
Why? Okay, why would you make something CG and then go to all the trouble to make it look like it's 2D? Because it's cheaper?
No, because they wanted it to blend in together. It would take you out of the movie if you had a computer graphic 3D character.
Yes.
With a bunch
and
of
I have
2D
seen
characters.
I have seen movies
Right.
try that. And
Right.
it's crappy.
And
yeah.
right. And so they came up with a program that literally made the lines appear to be hand drawn
Yeah. Instead
So-
of hand drawn.
instead of hand drawn.
But they didn't do it to save money.
Well, the thing is I don't know if they've done it to save money if they had
I
come up
bet
with
they
a whole
did.
new
They had to
program.
because it would have been stupid otherwise.
Well, I don't know, but I know
It'd be like me buying a new car, but saying I want you to make it look like it's 10 years old.
It takes a lot of effort as an artist to draw something
Yeah.
and give it heft, give it weight.
Yeah.
But if something's two-dimensional or three-dimensional, you can almost feel its girth.
Okay.
So I think that's what they were going for when they wanted to use a CG character, was to try to create.
Well, I'm sure there's some aspect of it that an amateur like me have missed out on. But okay. So they had their reasons. So we'll just say that.
Right. So the movie was set in 1957. If you look at the diner when she's on the phone, you can see the calendar. It's October 1957.
Yeah.
And they wanted this movie set in the 40s, 50s, and the reason it looks from that era or that time and it's got that look is because they mimicked Norman Rockwell's art from like the Saturday, or what was it called, Saturday Evening Post?
Post, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that a little bit.
And if you notice, just as kind of like a tip of the hat to Rockwell, that's what they named the town, was Rockwell, after Norman Rockwell.
Gotcha.
So that's how the town got its.
Yeah, he was a fantastic artist.
Yeah, dude, he wasn't a fantastic artist. He was like the artist at the time. Let's see, we've already talked about. So I don't want to sit here and walk you through the whole movie like other YouTube channels do. They'll talk from thing to thing.
All we do is discuss it.
Right. I really want you all to go see the movie. And I'm kind of telling you the highlights of the thing.
But they may have already seen it.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean,
chances are, if they click on this video,
I almost say it's like a 50-50 thing. I'd like to think some of our fans are watching it just because.
Would you click on a movie review or somebody discussing a movie that you hadn't seen? I wouldn't.
I'm a big fan of Adam Savage, and he has a YouTube channel called Tested. And I have to sit there and watch this man take a machine and take an aluminum rod and turn it into a smaller aluminum rod. Do I give a shit? No. But listening to this man talk and watching how his thinking process goes is more entertaining to me. So hopefully a lot of the people out there watching us is watching this because they're like, let's see what these two old farts
it could
are going to say about this movie.
There's at least one of them out there.
One of them, just one. They're sitting there like, look at them. Look at the way they're going at each other. Idiots. So anyway, the movie has like a story arc for the character, right?
Yeah. A good story.
When the giant first comes into play, he has no memory. And you see him become more intelligent. And you see him become the hero thing. Now, my favorite character, what was your favorite character in the movie?
Iron Giant.
Okay. Believe it or not, my favorite character in the movie was Hogarth. And the reason is because he had a flat story arc. This boy, from the very beginning, like when he shows his innocence and wonderment and how he can find the good in everything, even in like finding the squirrel and wanting to bring it home, you could see the type of person he was. And he believed in a certain truth, and it never swayed. Everybody always around him was talking about how big bad the robot is, what is this thing, is it Sputnik, is the Russians attacking, and it never swayed. He got somebody to agree with him, Dean, and when Dean even was like, look, he's a gun, he's dangerous, he didn't waver. Even to the very end of the movie, to where it almost was proven right that, look, this machine's dangerous. It's literally sitting there holding a gun. The boy stood in front of him knowing his truth and was like, no, that's not how it is. This is the truth. And so the fact that this boy never freaking wavered through the whole movie and literally was the pinnacle reason why everybody acted the way they did was because the way he stayed steady. What was he, 12?
Something like that.
12-year-old boy just stayed strong through the whole movie. And that said a whole lot more than, I mean, it was cool to see the sacrifice made at the end of the movie.
You ruined it.
But to see how steady and rock steady that boy was through the whole thing, I was like, that's pretty damn cool. And most people wouldn't even catch that.
Yeah, and there's something that children have that adults lose.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
I've lost it.
Yeah, me too. World has a way of taking it out of you. Yeah, there's a belief and a system and an innocence. I mean, there's just a faith that kids can have that adults lose. I mean, you even look at a child and they look at their parents like they're perfect. Parents aren't perfect.
I almost
But they look like they look at them like they are until they reach a certain age,
Right.
and then when they go to adulthood, they see typically they see nothing but the flaws. In
well,
their
I
parents.
mean, you go from not knowing to wonderment to feeling like you know everything to learning what you did learn wasn't right to just not wanting to know
Yeah.
anything. That's my story. Art.
Take another drink, brother.
Yeah. Anyway, so one of the things I liked that Hogarth did was he introduced the giant to Superman. You know me, I'm a big DC fan.
Yes, I know. I
Right.
know, and I don't hold it against you.
I appreciate
mean,
that.
nobody's perfect. We've already talked about
So
that.
he showed him issue 188 to be exact of Superman.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay.
And when he showed
Do you
it to
have that issue?
I do not. I wish I did.
Yeah, if you're an Iron Giant fan, you
I'll
better
tell you
get
what,
it.
I would get the Iron
I
Giant
wonder
poster
if
and
that
I'd have
issue
that
has
right in
gone
there
up
with
in
it.
price simply because of that movie.
I'd say so.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd say so. But anyway, when he introduced it to him, if you listen in the background, you can hear the 1940s Superman theme song.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love it when they throw in little things like that. And it's Warner Brothers and DC kind of travel hand in hand. It's pretty cool. But anyway, the movie's won like 9 Emmys.
Yeah.
Yeah, since its beginning. At first it was like, phew. But anyway, so the Iron Giant has popped up. I don't think we're ever going to get an Iron Giant 2. I don't think Bird is interested in doing an Iron Giant 2.
Didn't he show up in Ready Player One?
Right. So in 2008 he showed up in Ready Player One. Right?
Yeah,
Is that what it's
yeah,
called? Ready
yeah.
Player One.
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
Dude, the graphics in that's so badass to see him like lift himself up and put himself
Yeah,
back together.
yeah.
That was kick ass.
Yeah, I'd say fans of that, just when they saw that, went crazy. You know, I've seen that movie one time, and a friend of mine, Andrew, he said the book's really good. I never have read it. He said the book's better than the movie.
Oh, really?
And
I didn't know there was a book.
And we've actually had a subscriber ask us to do a review of Ready Player One, but I didn't care.
I've seen it. I like it.
I liked it. I mean, I liked it.
But
It was
anyway.
all right.
So he's also appeared in what's called Space Jam: The New League. I didn't watch it because I loved the first Space Jam. Wasn't a fan of who was it Kobe? Who
I
was-
don't know.
I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know. Some
but he
big tall
was
guy.
the Iron Giant was supposed to be in the crowd there.
I'm not
and-
into basketball.
And then DC also did a thing called the Multiverse. It was a video game.
Yeah.
And they introduced the Iron Giant as a character you could play.
Oh, yeah?
Surprised everybody. But then they surprised him again shortly after, and they took him away and didn't tell nobody.
Yeah.
And people were speculating that it was because like he was like super powered.
Oh, yeah.
He was super powered. But anyway,
Who owns the rights to him? Warner Brothers
Warner
still own the
Brothers.
rights?
Yeah, Warner Brothers still owns the right to him. Let's see. I think that's all I got. Like I said,
Think there'll ever be like a live action version? Would that be something you'd be interested in?
how you gonna do a live? You gonna put the Rock or put Van Diesel in a freaking metal suit?
No, it would be a big CGI robot.
Well, then that wouldn't be live. Listen, kids.
All the people would be live action.
Whoa. This is my pet peeve. When they say we're going to do a live action Lion King and everything's done with computer graphics, that's still freaking animation. It's just done by a computer. It's not got
Yes,
anything
but
to do
if
with
everybody's live, the trees, the
Look,
ants, the grass,
my
the
Jungle
people.
Book with a 30-foot orangutan doesn't make it.
No, but I'm saying there's no such thing as a live robot. You'd have to CGI him. Unless you got Elon Musk to make one.
Well, then do it. That's what we deserve as Iron Giant fans. Is a 30-foot Iron Dude. Have you seen the life-size Iron Giant that people bring into Comic-Con?
A life size?
A life-size Iron Giant. He's got his hand out, and you can stand inside of his hand.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's badass, and I so badly want to see it.
Yeah.
But anyway, they did come out with a sequel to the book. Hughes came out with one called An Iron Woman instead of an Iron Man, and it's supposed to talk about feminism.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it right.
So yeah, well, that's why I haven't read it.
Yeah.
But anyway, the only merchandise, I don't even own the poster, because to get the original poster, you're going to pay out the wazoo. I might get a print one day, maybe put in my geek room.
Yeah.
But this is the only merchandise I have.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
No. It ain't. You got to see it. It's cool.
Oh, okay.
Here, wait. I don't know if you. So
do they have tons of merchandise?
you can get all kinds of things now.
That's pretty cool.
Wait a second. It gets better. Wait a second.
You can put that in your geek room when you finish it.
Oh, you
6
know.
or 7 years.
Well, I've actually thought about doing a. Since I was going red this time.
Yeah.
I've actually thought about doing like a wash overing.
Yeah.
Because. Okay,
He's a little too gray.
Well, I mean, he's a little clean looking.
Yeah. Did any of your daughters, were they big fans of the Iron Giant?
I think both my girls enjoyed it, but I don't know
Think they
that,
liked it as much as you did?
I don't think they were like uber fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've actually thought about taking a Dremel and actually putting the dent in the side of the head.
Yeah.
Just to make
I'm
it look.
surprised they didn't put it in there.
I'm surprised too, but it probably was cheaper not to.
Probably.
But anyway, you can get statues. I think they've made like a really well articulated Iron Giant that's about this tall.
You know what they need to do, if they haven't, make a die cast Iron Giant.
Oh, I'm
Just
sure
so you
that
get some
somebody's
weight
out
to
there.
it and everything. See, die cast is getting real popular. I saw the other day on that. What's the show you said you watched where he took a iron bar and
Oh, tested.
tested? Yeah, who's the dude that does that?
Adam Savage.
Yeah, Adam Savage. Yeah, he was talking. He had a cast iron original Enterprise ship that they were putting out with. And he just talked about how it was nice to pick up a model and have good girth and stuff to it.
Right.
See, I watch that every once in a while. So like a big die cast Iron Giant, we'd be all over that.
There is a studio that does like a lot of 3D printings.
Yeah.
They did a life-size 3D print of the Iron Giant.
Life size.
It
That would be bigger than the house, dude. That would
Dude,
be like,
so they had it inside, their ceilings were like 15 foot, and they literally had it all squatting over and with its hands against the wall like this.
yeah,
Yeah, it was massive.
yeah,
Yeah, but that's, so the Iron Giant's supposed to be about 30 foot tall,
yeah.
but actually the height of it throughout the whole movie kind of fluctuated.
Oh, it did?
They never, I mean, it's in the movie, and they look back and see it standing in this town, and it's standing above the buildings.
Right.
And when you get into the town, it's as high as the building. So, I mean, they kind of fluctuated it just to whatever was needed. But anyway, this is the only piece of merchandise I have other than the book itself.
Yeah, cool.
Oh.
You should display it with the book somehow, like on a shelf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that.
Freaking fly in here.
But anyway, you got anything else?
We got that book over
Right. That's what I was going to say. Well, I mean, do you have anything else about Iron
there.
Giant?
No, sir.
All right. So,
But thank you. That was very informative. I learned some stuff.
right?
I go to bed now.
I'm pretty. All right. So on our last Two Old Geeks Talking, I said anybody who'd put make Revan canon in
Yes.
the comments,
Yes.
I would send them this book.
Yes.
And only one of you all, come on, guys. Come on.
Maybe the rest of them don't want to make
God
Revan
bless.
canon.
Who was it that done it?
Cisco Deer.
Cisco Deer. God bless you, Cisco Deer. Thank you for listening. I mean, even to this old fart, that's what makes us happy, is knowing we're being
Yes,
listened
yes.
to.
That makes us happy, and liking and subscribing makes us happy.
Right. So Cisco.
And down in the comments, you can contact us on Facebook or Instagram or however.
Is our email on there?
Our email's down
Or
in,
email.
down in the description down there.
Contact us. We'll contact you back. We'll get your email address or your address, and I'll make sure you get this. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, man.
I'm done.
You done?
I'm done.
I'm done. All right. Sounds great.